Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, El Shai, Ba'ashem, quadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth in sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, quadash, Barak Them. So everything here in Babylon the Great is happening just like we've been prophesying it would happen. Eventually all these stores are going to be closing, and you'll be seeing more and more abandoned malls, abandoned hotels, abandoned buildings. And why is all this happening all of a sudden? Well, we've been telling you, we've been foretelling you things that would happen before it happens. And that, quite simply put, the reason why these things are happening, of course, is to control the population. If these places are abandoned and boarded up and no longer there, then the government can seize control of these places and use them as holding cells for the FEMA camps. This has been prophesied for a long time. I mean, I've known about the FEMA camps for quite a long time because, of course, we know that there's a sinister plan behind all the base closings and all the other things that the politicians close on purpose. Of course, way before Jade Helm started, but now you're seeing more and more practice drills unannounced showing up, and just the mirth of this place failing, and of course the place to be able to, buy, sell, and trade. And is that what it's all about? It's having complete control over what we buy, sell, and trade. That, they wanted to break it down to where I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they banned Craigslist eventually. Craigslist is the other one if you do not like going online doing eBay and Amazon, and you want to buy, sell, or trade, or even give away stuff. Craigslist has been that alternative, but we know that the government's regulating down on things, to where, free apps and free this and free that, that's starting to be taken away. That pretty much you have to pay for everything. You got to pay for that subscription if you're to use it. You're starting to see that happen more and more. Especially anything that goes against their narrative. And the fact that they are now broadcasting us on their main street means that they want to get rid of us. Ultimately, they want to shut up the words of the Most High. But you see, that's just it, though. The Most High is about to shut up his word, that pretty much he's going to let the sword come after this because they will not hearken. We come out here each week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. We try to. And you get this. It resonates with you, but you don't do anything about it, But yet, the quadash is making you aware of things, It's no mistake that when you've passed us by, or you've seen us on the internet, that something happened to where you were getting it. That was quadash trying to wake you up as to what's going on. And you just continue to ignore it. Well, what's going to happen when he shuts up that word? When he's no longer willing to deal with you, especially if you find out that you're an Israelite. Either a confusion of faith or one of the 12 tribes that be on the sign. But then you didn't hearken unto it when you had a chance to. Well, what happens at that point when you've shut up the quadash that was trying to work with you when you wouldn't listen? Well, Lamentations chapter 3 and verse 1 tells you quite a bit. I am the man that hath seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He hath led me and brought me into darkness, but not into light. Because after a certain period of time, man, that's when them curses start coming. Surely against me is he turned. He turns his hand against me all the day. How long were we prophesying out there on the streets of San Juan, and pretty much to that entire island of Puerto Rico? How long were we? Quite a while, weren't we? We had a camp there, and they didn't listen. And then the power got cut, similar to what's going on in Venezuela. We know that was a Call of Duty type of Black Ops operation, to shut down their power for 5 days. Because, of course, the military's in there, and they're doing this shit on purpose. My flesh and my skin hath made old. He hath broken my bones. So, pretty much you get to the point where you become feeble. You're so fickle that you become so feeble-minded that pretty much you can't deal with anything, This is after he's no longer dealing with you. He hath builded against me and compassed me with all gale and travail. He hath set me in dark places as they that he be of dead of old. And that's what happens when the quadash, when the Most High is no longer dealing with you. He hath hanged me about that I cannot get out. He hath made my chain heavy. And when I cry and shout, he shutteth out my prayer. Yeah, there's a time and a point that you can no longer call out. The fact that we're out here and we're teaching and that you can come up and ask questions or that you can receive this, it means the Most High is still dealing with you. But if you continue to ignore him, there's a time and a place. Ultimately, though, if you've ignored this, the only thing that's going to happen is a fire will come from the chariots and from the nuclear missiles. The chariots will not be beaming you up, but they will be destroying your ass. He hath enclosed my ways with hewn stone. He hath made my paths crooked. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait, and as a lion in secret places. All these things are waiting to devour you. That's why you're seeing the mall closings. That's why you're seeing more and more places where you used to frequently hang out pretty much is no longer. It's desolate. Because, of course, what's about to happen is there's a bear in the woods waiting on whom he may prey. That is the government, FEMA. FEMA's looking to round up all the homeless and get rid of them. That's why you're seeing it more and more. Because, of course, once you're homeless, man, shit, real easy to use these heat-seeking drones to find you. And that's what they're getting ready to do. Because pretty much the attitude of everybody else is they'd rather not see them. He hath turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces. He hath made me desolate. He hath bent his bow and sent me as a mark for the arrow. And what's that talking about? The nuclear missiles, man. This whole place, America, Babylon the Great, is getting ready to be destroyed. That's why you're starting to see everything. But before it gets destroyed, the army after next, which is really the UN, the New World Order, is going to be pretty much rounding up people and putting them in the FEMA camps, trying to get them to submit to the mark, the RFID implant, where you're totally controlled by them. That's what they want. I was a derision to all my people and their song all day. He hath filled me with bitterness. He hath made me drunken with wormwood. He hath broken my teeth with graven stones. He hath covered me with ashes. And thou hast removed my soul far off from peace. I forgot prosperity. And pretty much at this point, though, you've been turned to the point that, and you're just waiting for the owls. Because that's what America's waiting for. Waiting for the place of owls, of every unclean and foul, hateful bird. Pretty much, man. You ever been dying in the desert? When a bird of prey is waiting for your ass, just waiting for you to die. Well, that's what's happening, Eventually, man. Now, man, this ain't going to be out here. But while it is, this is why we do this so diligently. If you fall by the sword, if you get judged, it won't be our fault because we went out here to teach. Whether we be healthy, sick, yeah, a lot of us come out here sick, or have a wife that's sick, or the weather conditions so bad that you walk through the snow to come out and teach. I mean, those that are really diligent for these things will do those things. It won't matter to them because it's all about, well, there was a whole year. Death, diligence, and destruction. We know that if you're not diligent for this thing, the only thing you have to look forward to is death and destruction. And you can see it all around. Death all around. Destruction all around. These things that you're seeing happening are waiting for them death camps. That's another term for FEMA. Death camps. These death camps are going to be set up. That's why you're starting to see everything closing, The mirth of this place will no longer be. And you can say that this word is definitely mirth. The mirth of this word will eventually not be. They're clamping down the internet and shut down. If they take down the torrent sites, on the side note, what do you think they're going to do with, our videos? How many times have our videos been shut down? We have to start over. Eventually, we ain't going to be able to start over. And once our videos are gone, that's it. The word has been shut up. We're entering into the times of lamentations. Those chapters that a lot of people don't like to read because, there's not really much hope once the Most High has pretty much rejected you. But just think about this, though. If you ain't diligent for this thing, he can spew you out, he can reject you. And that the only thing you have to look forward to is death and destruction. You don't want to get to that point. You don't want to get to the point where quadash is no longer working with you. This is the time now. And so for all this, I hope this has been edifying. Call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Quadash, while you still can. Because the word is beginning to pretty much be sealed, He's sealing who he wants. So, for that, it's time, though, if you believe you're among those people, and you haven't done this, to be diligent for this thing. We haven't much time for that. For that, I want to say, Brakat the Yahweh, Brakat the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Qudash, Brakat Dum. Hope this has been edifying. Shalom.